I know about a dozen black families who ain't got their kids no more because they started homeschooling but didn't fill out the paperwork with the district, which only takes a visit downtown, and now they don't have their kids. Remember, they will be marked truant until you declare homeschool, and they'll take your kids and give them to a homosexual couple, so you better be careful. As far as homeschooling go, make sure you have the time to teach. Too many black folks are taking their kids out of the school district talking about they don't like it, but you're not teaching at your house. You're too busy. You're working, you're in the community, you're volunteering, you never got time to teach them kids. So what I recommend is that y'all start a Little Rock. Who was the sister who was up here earlier talking about the school? That was you. So you know what we need to do next time I come? We need to have a conference just for parents who want to homeschool. Because we can start a homeschool network. And the way the homeschool network works, right? No one person has to do it all themselves. So let's say Dr. Umar, I do history and politics on Monday. You do math on Tuesday. You do science on Wednesday. He does physical ed on Thursday. Brother over there deals with diet and nutrition and agriculture on Friday. This way everybody chips in a little bit and no one person has to flip the whole load because we got to work. A lot of us don't own our own business. So it can be hard holding down a 40-hour job and then having to provide a 35-hour education for your children, so we all got to do it together. As far as curriculum goes, I don't have one that I can point to, but I would say African American Homeschoolers Association. Okay, also in Atlanta they got a homeschooling network. Chicago they got a homeschooling network. There's a lot of places that got a homeschooling network that actually work. Okay, New Orleans there's a homeschooling network. I'm also a resource. Okay, my job is to come in and let you know whether or not the kids are learning and what we need to do differently, that kind of a thing. I'm the assessment guy. That's how y'all use me to make sure they learn. But I would love to help out with that if we do a conference or something like that. What else was I going to say? The biggest thing about a homeschooling kid, make sure they get their social stimulation. Remember now, half of all learning is social. If your kid is trapped in the house all day, every day, and they don't get a chance to deal with other kids, they're going to end up looking like they got autism when you finally let them the hell out of the house. So you got to make sure that you provide for that social stimulation.
I wanted to mention something about the Hidden Colors, the documentary, because a lot of people haven't seen that. And
okay, the Hidden Colors. Now, what is your question about?
Well, I've seen it, but I wanted you to mention something about it so people that haven't seen
it.
Hidden
Colors 1 and 2.
Part 1 and Part
Untold History of People of African Descent. That can be ordered at hiddencolorsmovie.com. Amazon, I think Tariq has it up on Amazon. Okay, that's Tariq's product, so you order it directly from him. Very good movie for anybody who is just now coming into consciousness, even if you're already into consciousness. The beauty of Hidden Colors is not the information. That was already, nothing in there was new, except my stuff. But no, I'm kidding. Nothing in there was new. The beauty of it was the presentation, the way it was laid out. Are y'all following me? The cinematography was psychologically strategic, that it made a person who don't even like themselves want to know more about themselves. And I think the brilliance of that team, Tyreek and the others who put that together, was they used strategic use of sound and image to capture the mind. Nothing in there was new, but the way it was delivered was new. And I think that's what made it beautiful. I'm also going to be working on a documentary, Psychoacademic Holocaust Against Black Boys. If any of you have a testimony of something you went through protecting your son, any of the men in here got a testimony of something you went through when you was a student, mental health or criminal justice, all you got to do is text the word documentary to my cell phone with your name. That's all you got to do. James Little Rock documentary. Umar Skitsy's documentary. And I reach out to you and let y'all know when we're going to start filming. But powerful, powerful documentary. Also, there's going to be a full-length movie coming out on Frederick Douglass, first time ever. And Keith David is going to be playing Frederick Douglass. Y'all know him, right? From Barbershop, Platoon. What else did Keith David? That's the brother with the deep voice. The smooth voice. He played in Barbershop. He was the pimp that Ice Cube borrowed the money from to sell it. He's going to be playing Frederick Douglass, and I was asked to be a historical consultant to the movie. It's a couple years in the making, though. I'm also going to be working on a movie on the life and times of Nat Turner. I'm going to be playing Nat Turner. Okay? So we got any brothers who do physical training? I got to get my six-pack back. It's been a few years. Let me just, let's go with the queen, and I'll repeat the question. Go ahead.
I know you mentioned a lot of these orders on your slide, and I know a lot of us didn't identify. We didn't ask us to raise our hand. What would be a positive way if some of us identify with some of the disorders, how we can get help if we are those type of people?
Well, number one, you can email me for a start. And depending on how severe the issue is, might got to refer you to a psychologist. If anybody is in need of a psychologist for assessment, which is testing, or treatment, which is therapy, go to the Association of Black Psychologists website, abpsi.org. A is in association, B is in black, P is in psychology, SI, strong individual, abpsi.org. Click on find a psychologist, click on Arkansas, and see who we have in the network who you can go to. With your children, you want to be very careful who you send them to. There's a lot of sexually confused therapists out there who will push that on your child without you even knowing. So you want to go to the website for the Association of Gay and Lesbian Psychotherapists and type the names in of any potential therapists to see whether or not they of that persuasion. Also, luckily, the new DSM that I showed you guys earlier, pedophilia is still in there, which is good, but they're trying to take it out. They want it out. They do not think having sex with kids is a mental illness. It is an organization that's trying to remove it. Now you can go to their website. It's the North American Association for Man and Boy Love.
NAMBLA.
Go on the internet tonight. Don't believe me. Y'all got internet. North American Association of Man and Boy Love. They do not want pedophilia classified as an illness. And some of y'all saying they'll never take it out. Well, just remember, in 1972, some of our grandparents said they would never take homosexuality out. Right. And they did. So, whether it be 5 years or 10 years, I do see pedophilia being taken out that book. Y'all heard it from me first. Beloved.
Okay, I got a question. I've been on a quest for the divine truth. And like, I was trying to see if you could point me in the right direction or give me some input or whatever.
There's only one religion. It is called the truth. And do you know what the word truth means? Goodness of faith. Everybody got a little bit. Islam got a piece. Christianity got a piece. There's no religion I've ever come across that didn't have some truth. None of them have the whole truth. Okay? What you're going to find is when you put all the pieces together from the religions, you're going to need African spirituality to hold them together. And so in terms of searching for the divine truth, I recommend that you take a visit to the Oyotunji African Village in Sheldon, South Carolina. It's the only authentic African village in this country, sanctioned by the Council of Traditional Religions in Africa. Go there, learn about the African religion. Okay, what I do, I'm more piecemeal. I was raised Muslim. I still adhere to some of that tradition. Come from pastors. I read the Bible. I study East Indian, Buddhism, everything. But my main thing is traditional African religion. In fact, I want to be getting initiated soon into the mysteries of the Ifa of Yoruba, West Africa, to become a Babalawo, which will allow me to be able to do spiritual readings if I'm successful. Because I don't want to, if I'm successfully and accepted, I'll be able to do reading. So you come to me for therapy, there's two ways we can do this. We can do white man talk therapy, or I'm gonna get out my damn shells and roll them asses and see what you really need to do. Okay?
Is that a
You've been
website?
messing up, and you gotta make some sacrifices.
Is that a website?
So,
Is a
huh?
website for that?
They all the same, different names. Small differences. Kemet, Voodoo, Ifa, Akan, Dagara, Santeria, Palo, Lukumi is all African religion with different names. The deities may have different names. And by the way, we only believe in one God.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
The deities are nothing but manifestations of the one supreme consciousness. Africans, they got a million gods. Okay, the problem is when the white man came into Kemet and he said, Asar, Asaru, Sekemet, all these gods. No, these are manifestations of the one God.
Right.
Because you can never know God, you can only know God through his manifestations.
Right.
So for example, you got Umar the psychologist, Umar the orator, Umar the Pan-Africanist, Umar the therapist, Umar the author, right? Same Umar, but different manifestations. And that's all that is, one God. Queen.
I just wanted to know why African is spelled with a K.
Why African is spelled with a K? Because in most African languages, there is no soft C sound.
Right.
So the K would be the same, no soft C. So that's the K is the most accurate because it's the strong K. We don't have a soft C sound in Africa. And in my book, I got a whole chapter on Ebonics and how what a lot of people accuse us of having broken language is not broken language. It is African language. And our language, it is a rolling language. So we do not say stuff like, I will be coming over later for breakfast. We don't do that. Our language is rolling. You don't find any strong consonants at the ends of African words. It keeps on rolling. See, the language we speak with each other is the same language they speak in Nigeria now. The only difference is the vocabulary. We're using European vocabulary. They're using African vocabulary. The vocabulary is different, but the language is the same. Ebonics is a manifestation of Niger-Congo language. We brought it with us. And that was the one thing that they could not take is our tongue, and we still got it, but we're trying to beat it out of our kids. And what we're supposed to do is let them know that this is African language with English vocab. I still want them to be able to speak the King's English so they can use it as necessary. Are y'all following me? Yeah. When I got interviewed to get into my doctorate program, I couldn't come in here talking Ebonics. I had to talk like them. Yes, I would love to study here. Okay? To get in. See, what our kids got to be able to do, y'all, is code switch. Know which tongue to use with who, but don't give it up. Never give it up, but just know when to use it.
That's how the other cultures do it.
All the cultures do that. Soon when they start talking about you, they switch to their tongue. Okay? All of them do that. You're talking to the Koreans. When they want to say something smart about you, call you little Negro. So I did it back one day. I said, yes, ma'am. My brother.
Dr. Umar, with all the everything that happened with Trayvon Martin,
yes.
The incident here last year in Russellville, there was a young black male that got killed in the back of a police car while handcuffed.
Woo.
And the police said that he had magically came out the handcuffs, grabbed a pistol that they didn't find, and killed himself.
James Carter.
Just last week, there was another young black male that got gunned down by police here in Little Rock. What can we do to stop all these murders against the young black males?
Well, number one, you got to organize. Number two, you got to find an attorney. Forget finding an attorney who's going to do it pro bono. That's over. Fine, you got to pay him, and we're going to organize our money to pay him, and we want to pay him well enough so he don't sell us the hell out to fight these cases. Problem with the lawyers is they're scared that if they take on the police department, they won't never get another job again. So you got to make them feel comfortable about it by giving them enough money. Here's the thing about black people. We got this thing where anybody black's supposed to do right by us because we black. That might be true for Umar Johnson. I'm going to fight for your kid because he's black, whether I get paid by you or not, because that's my heart. But most of us ain't like that no more. Right. We got to stop looking for people to do it on the strength of the race and do what the Italians do, what the Irish do. They pay people to do what's right. You got to do the same thing. You got a black man in political office. Y'all need him to vote a certain way on a certain contract. You got to step to him with a suitcase of money and let him know if you take this money and don't vote the right way, you're going to be swimming with Goonie Goo Goo in it. But my point is, y'all, we got to stop trying to use this faith thing. That don't work. Do what the mafia do. You see, the mafia don't run nobody for president. But they put that suitcase out there and say, we need this, this, and this. We got to get professional with our stuff.
Right.
Our agenda got to be professional. Our money got to be organized.
Right.
Okay? And the other thing we got to understand, you're not going to be able to change the way white supremacy treats us unless we're willing to sacrifice. It ain't got to be your life. But take a case like that. First thing I would have done was brought all the black elected officials in this room and said, what are y'all going to do about this case? Because if this ain't prosecuted on the next election day, we're going to find everybody who's running against y'all, and we're going to vote them in and vote your asses out.
Right.
All y'all got to do is use y'all clout. But the problem is we never hold our elected officials accountable. When's the last time you brought all the black elected officials who have constituents in Little Rock into a room like this, put them up here, and gave them questions? And got consent. We don't do it. And then the bourgeoisie come around on election day and makes you vote for people who ain't done nothing for you the past couple years, and then you keep on voting them in. You got to start holding people accountable. We are the only people who don't have an accountability system. You see what the Arabs do? Sell them out. You swimming with Goonie Goo Goo. Okay? Same thing the Asians do. Don't nobody take sellouts. You see what America did with Benedict Arnold. You see they still chasing down the dude who ran with the Caesars. Don't nobody tolerate no selling out, but black people do. You can sell out black people, molest our kids, get baptized, and do it all over again. Am I wrong? Eddie Wrong still preaching. He molested them boys. He's still preaching. They said, God forgive him. Young blood.
Is Barack Obama like us?
Biologically, he's an African. Psychologically, he's a European. See, when you judge black people, we all physically black in this room, right?
Yeah.
But are we psychologically black? So you got to find the people who think black and think with the best interest of their people at heart. When you judge us, or assess us, because I don't like to say judge, when you assess blacks, you assess on 5 criteria. Consciousness. How aware are we of our circumstance? How knowledgeable are we? Consciousness. Intelligence. Commitment. How committed are you to helping us? Consistency. How committed are you over the long haul? Or are you an opportunist? Do we have black people in Little Rock who only show up when it's time to get on the news? Only show up when it's time for elections? Only show up when it's time for free money to be given out? Or are they always there when you need them? Or only when it's in a benefit? That's consistency. And then you need courage. It don't matter how conscious you are. It don't matter how much consistency. It don't matter how much. If you ain't got guts to speak truth to power, you're worthless. See, if I only talk this in front of y'all, I'm worthless. I got to be able to say this in front of Europeans.
Right.
And I do. A lot of us cannot do that. They'll come in here and be real black and get out there and pull their pants up real tight. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Get the bass out their voice. You got to be committed all the time. Which is why I use my real name. Most of the guys who do this, they don't use their real name. You don't know who they are. Me, you know who I am. Because I'm Umar everywhere I go. But they got an African name on stage and then a white name off stage. Crazy stuff. The other thing is creativity. What are you doing to help black people out? I want y'all 2 young men to be clear. Y'all twins, ain't y'all?
Yes.
Well, I got 2 sisters, but y'all identicals. I want y'all to be clear about this information that we went over today. This is good. It's information. But it's not going to change anything. Institutions do that. We got to build our own institutions. Our own school, our own supermarket, our own airline, shipping company, distribution network, factories. You follow me? We need an independent black community. Black producers, black distributors, black consumers. White supremacy is hurting black people through its institutions.
Right.
Look at all the black babies that are born, stillborn from black women. Because they being born in white hospitals with white doctors who could care less.
Right.
And then our women keep getting that epidural put in y'all spine that y'all know ain't no good for that baby. And then they C-section you and cut the damn baby out because the epidural messes with the heart rate of the baby. And now you got all these black women getting C-sections like never before. And then once you have 1 C-section, they want to keep on giving you more C-sections because a C-section is emergency surgery, which means they get more money for cutting your stomach.
That's right.
So they pushing C-section because if I'm doing C-sections, I can do about 5 of them an hour. Natural birth, I got to be with your ass all day, staring at a black womb for 18 hours. So what we need is black women to start going to what? Midwifery school. Start having the babies in the house. Like, do you know it was one time you couldn't go to the hospital in Little Rock? You had to have that baby in your house. What's wrong with doing it now? White women are having their babies at home like never before. Why can't black women start having them babies? I know a brother in Texas delivered his own baby. Never went to midwifery school or nothing. There's a couple midwife schools around the country, and I need you ladies to check them out. And at my school, we're going to have a midwifery program. We're going to teach the girls how to have each other's baby for them. Because you can't trust the hospital no more. They're killing our kids. We got the highest stillborn birth rate in the country. You've been having babies since the beginning of time, black woman, and now you can't have them no more? I was in Africa. You know what women do when it's time to have a baby in Africa? They got an outhouse in the back. It's the birth chamber. They go out there, the mothers go, they do their voodoo, get the ancestors on their side, and then she squat down like she's going to the bathroom, gravity, and pull it right out. Simple as can be. No C-section, nothing. But y'all want to be sophisticated. So y'all want to lay down this way. Gravity don't work this way. So since you laying vertically, the doctor got to pull and put them thongs around that big black baby head and pull them out. And now the baby head come out looking like this. Because you want to have the baby sophisticated. But I want y'all to read, I want y'all to study, I want you to read at least 1 book a month in addition to the books that your school want. You hear? Non-fiction. I don't want you reading Harry Potter because that's fiction. I want real stuff. Marcus Garvey and Malcolm X. Read, 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 because the more you read, the more vocab you get. The more vocab you get, the higher IQ score you're going to get. The more vocab you get, the higher SAT scores. So when it's time to go to college, both of y'all going to get a full scholarship because y'all read y'all way to college. And your daddy ain't got to take out no loan because your grades is going to finance your education.